Okay, so now that we've talked all about clauses, we're going to talk about how to join them together using conjunctions and clause connectors. There are actually 4 different types of conjunctions and clause connectors. The first one that we're going to talk about is the easiest one. You see them all the time. They're called coordinating conjunctions, and they function to connect 2 independent clauses of equal importance. The words that we use to do this are for, and, nor, but, or yet, and we usually use the acronym FANBOY to be able to remember those words. For example, I really need a caffeine boost, but I should finish this video first. Here, we're using the coordinating conjunction but to connect 2 independent clauses. Notice also, when we're connecting the 2 independent clauses, we're using a comma before the coordinating conjunction. In the next example, I would love to buy a pair of fried boots, comma, yet I can't afford to spend $500 on shoes. Once again, we're using another coordinating conjunction, yet, and you'll notice that the comma comes before the coordinating conjunction again. Now let's take a look at subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions connect a dependent clause to an independent clause. Some common ones are after, because, as, though, etc. For your convenience, we've also provided you with a list of the subordinating conjunctions. Let's take a look at how they work. For the first example I have, I won't be able to have coffee until I finish this video. Until is a subordinating conjunction that's connecting this independent clause, I won't be able to have coffee, to this dependent clause, until I finish the video. Now, as you'll notice, the independent clause comes first, and then it's connected by the subordinating conjunction, and then we have the dependent clause following it. If we switched it around and we put the dependent clause first, as you did in this example, we actually have to add in a comma after the dependent clause. So it would look like this. Until I finish the video, comma, I won't be able to have coffee. Let's take a look at another example using subordinating conjunctions. I want to buy those boots even though I shouldn't. Even though is the subordinating conjunction that's connecting this independent clause to this dependent clause. Again, if I switched them around and I put even though I shouldn't first, I would have to add in a comma to connect the dependent clause to the independent clause. Now let's take a look at correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are pairs of words that connect 2 similar or contrasting thoughts. The pairs are the following: both and, not only but also, either or neither nor. Let's take a look at some examples that we have here. We have, you can either finish that now or at recess. We also have, picking your nose is not only dirty, but also really gross. I use these at school a lot, actually. Now let's take a look at the last type of conjunction, or clause connector. Now, this is probably the trickiest type, but it doesn't have to be that tricky. So, we have conjunctive adverbs. These are words that connect 2 independent clauses, but don't turn them into a single grammatical unit. Now, you're probably wondering what the heck is a single grammatical unit? What does that mean? And I think if we take a look at the example that I have here, it will clarify that a lot more for you. Some of the common conjunctive adverbs that we have are however, besides, and indeed. But again, we also have a list for you so that you can see them and access them. Now, in my example, I used the word however. So let's take a look at how this does not make the sentence into a single grammatical unit. My sister thought she saw a ghost. However, it was her imagination. If you take a look here, you'll notice that we have a semicolon before however, before the conjunctive adverb, and then after however we have a comma. Now here, the clauses can actually be moved around. So for example, I can change this and I can put my conjunctive adverb at the end of the sentence. My sister thought she saw a ghost, semicolon. It was her imagination, comma, however. So because I'm able to move the conjunctive adverb from the middle of the sentence to the end or vice versa, we know that it's not making this sentence a single grammatical unit, or it's not making the clauses a single grammatical unit. Now, you might be thinking, well, how does this differ from a coordinating conjunction? If I had substituted a coordinating conjunction into this sentence, I wouldn't be able to move it to the end. For example, if I had said, my sister thought she saw a ghost, but it was her imagination, I wouldn't be able to manipulate the sentence or the clauses or the word but. I wouldn't be able to say, my sister thought she saw a ghost, it was her imagination, but. Therefore, the word but is making it into a single grammatical unit that I'm not able to alter. I hope that this clarifies conjunctions and clause connectors for you.